So if I go all the way to the right and then answer the phone instead of unplugging it, that's a whole separate ending. If I sit there and don't go left or right, that's a whole nother ending.
Yet there was not a single person here
Okay,
either.
I'm not going to read all these.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I kind of want to go down. He said go upstairs.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley.
Wait.
Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am
Is this a never-ending
crazy.
garage?
All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
12.
None of it made
Another
any
car.
logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Whoa.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid?
Dude, have you ever lucid dreamed before? Type a 1 in the chat if you ever lucid dreamed before.
Well, he was
I used
amazed
to
he
in
hadn't
high
asked
school.
himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself
I
being
can't do it
considered by
anymore.
Stanley, who found it
But
particularly strange.
when I was in high school,
I'm
I would do
dreaming
it,
about a voice
and I would like
describing me.
I would like
thinking
fly
about how
through
it's
the air,
describing my thoughts.
and I would have like
And while he thought it all very
Dragon
odd,
Ball Z
and
type
wondered if
powers,
this voice
like,
spoke to all people in their dreams,
like
the truth
blasting
was that, of
stuff out of my
course,
hands and
this
stuff,
was not
like,
a dream.
just for fun.
How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself?
What would you
Believing
do
that
in
if
your
he's
dreams
asleep,
when you would
he
do
doesn't
it?
have to take responsibility for himself?
But I would,
Stanley is
whenever
as
I would
awake
start
right
to think
now
about the
as he's
fact that I
ever
was
been in
dreaming
his
too
life.
much, I'd always wake up.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove
Yeah, if you
that
think
he
about
was
it too
in
much, you
control,
always wake up.
that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside
What's
this
happening?
one.
We're teleporting.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Bro, you better hurry up. We're back here. 1-2-B4.
Stanley began screaming.
6.
Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must
Francis,
be real.
thanks for
I
the
must
pumped
be.
up
Can anyone
and the
hear my
GGs.
voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Psycho ending?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
We just went through some changes.
Mariella
guys.
woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed,
I'm
gathered her
Mariella?
belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like.
Okay, this is
And
the
in
crazy
that
ending.
moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal.
I swear, next
I
time,
am
chat, I'm just
saying
gonna listen to what the
I
game
am
says.
in control of my mind.
Why? It's
I
like
know
as soon
what
as the
is
game
real
tells me to
and what
do
isn't.
this, I want to go
It
that
was
way.
comforting to think this, and in
need
a
to just
certain way,
what
seeing
the
this
game
man made
says.
her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting
can't
she had
resist
scheduled for that
doing
day.
the opposite of what the
very
game tells
important
me.
people whose impressions of her would affect her career.
Let
and
me
by
check out
extension,
your coffee
the rest
cup.
of her life.
This
She
one
had no time for this.
just
So
says
it
morning
was only
vibes.
a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
All right. So that was. We've seen like 2 or 3 endings so far.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
Never
decided to
listen
go
to
to the meeting
narratives,
room.
they're always
Perhaps he
wrong.
had simply missed a memo.
Well, I just figure like going
When
off the
Stanley
trail
came to a
is
set
how
of
you
2
see all the
open
funny
doors,
stuff.
he entered the door on his left.
So it makes me want to do the opposite what it says. This time I'll try to.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
I'll try to follow
Feeling
what it
a wave
says.
of disbelief,
a little bit.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked
Okay,
upstairs to
this
his
is where I
boss's
went
office.
downstairs last time. Now I'm going up.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Great.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
Okay.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Ooh.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly
Was
opened
this office in
passageway.
Subliminal? It seems like it, right? It not. Nothing? Alright, let's no. Eight, 4, 5. Loading.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Mind control facility or escape? What do you think, Chad? I think we should escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Maybe we shouldn't go. Wait. Hit the dips.
Keep
keep going, Hez lying.
Okay, I don't believe him. Don't believe the narrator. Okay.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
I don't trust
At
you.
this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I don't trust you. Scary lights. Okay, what's down here? Hey.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
We're
Stanley
gonna get
can't see
squished.
the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is.
You
Perhaps
tricked
his
me.
death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a
I
blind
thought
man.
you said he was lying.
So he resigned
Wait,
and
can I jump
willingly
off this thing?
accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Shut down trash compactor on the D something level. Okay.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Ah. No, I'm safe. The Stanley Parable. That
And
was
yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless,
It's another ending.
making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Whoa. Oh. This is... nice. What about over here? Freedom ending. Oh, is this showing different endings? Boss's office. What's up, silly guy?
Poor level design, textbook mistake. It's the kind of thing you pick up on
Underground.
intuitively if you had even the most fundamental understanding of good and bad
Narration
game design.
outtakes.
But of course, you being you, you'll probably spend the next hour trying to solve it. Here, I'm just going to make this easy on you. Then he pushed the number 4. Where were all of his co-workers? Oh, I don't know. How about they're throwing a surprise?
I bet there's someone who has spent hours in that room. Who knows how long the clips go. Freedom ending. Countdown desk. Huh? On off.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Back here again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Executive bathroom. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. What? Makes sense. Whoa. Outwalk his narrative. That's what I was thinking. What happens when I do that? You know, is he gonna be like, slow down, elevate? How come I...
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
He's trying to slow me down! He straight up was
Feeling
like...
soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward.
He straight
into
up
the
was like,
passageway.
this dude's going too fast. We're gonna put on some music and make him wait. Like, what? Okay, did that open this door? What's that noise? Do you hear that? That sounds crazy. Like, I don't know what it is. Last time I went down, right? What's up, Whistler? How you doing? Okay, this time...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Let's just go to the mind control facility.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Awfully big place. Another button? Let's press it.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers.
Dude, this is
the
like
lives
the
of so
Truman
many
Show.
individuals reduced to images on a screen.
We work
And
for an evil
Stanley,
company,
one
bro.
of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Oh, that one's fired over there. But they're still watching him. Dude. This is crazy, dude. I'm getting the chills, bro. I feel like I'm in the Matrix or something. What's in the box? I'm gonna press this button.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been
Guys,
under
everyone
someone's
share the
control all
live
this time?
with all your
Was this the only
friends.
reason he was happy with his boring
And
job? That
let's
his
get them
emotions
likes
had
up to
been
10K.
manipulated to
If
accept
you're
it
in
blindly?
here, might as well be tapping the screen. Help me get on the FYP.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley
sinister.
decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay. Yellow, green, purple. Is that purple? There's a bunch of different stations, colors. Green. Can you press these buttons? Okay, yes. Okay, maybe. Huh. Just trying to figure out what everything does. You know what? There is a button off to the side somewhere. Console disabled. 2. 1. 2. Where's 3? You help people who help others. That's nice of you. Probably a button I'm missing. Yeah, here's 3. Maybe I need to do 1, 2, 3. Try. And then is there a 4th? That's a question. 1, 2. Then let's hit 3. Be in the order. 3. Is that a button up there? Locked off. Activate power cells. Five. Wait, and then over here, what's over here? The big scary X-Men room. System power off on.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place
There's
and to
always a big
everything
red
it
button,
stood
isn't there?
for.
On.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say...
Well, how do I fix it?
2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
2 minutes.
It's your time to shine.
Or
You are the star.
house.
It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace
Blue, where
before
am I
you're
looking for?
obliterated? All right.
I'm looking for
in a good
Blue.
mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was
Got
merely
3
in
attempts
this instance
remaining.
of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying
Blue
alone.
3.
Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to
Big
make
red
sense
button,
of
you just
everything
missed it.
and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better.
Oh, I see a big red button.
My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much.
Yeah, but
You know what?
there's
To hell
something I
with
gotta
it.
do.
I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not?
See, all this says
These are
Blue
precious
3.
additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Blue 3.
Oh, dear me. What's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to
One.
button, screen to screen,
Button hit
clicking
provided.
on every little thing in this
Active
room.
button hit. Red
These numbered
3.
buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something here
Five.
will save me. Why would you think that,
Green
Stanley?
2.
That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment.
Man, I
But
don't
here's
know.
a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first,
Goodbye.
so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have
Oh
left
my
to
god,
strike.
dude. Shut up.
30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces.
How
Will
am
you
I
cling
supposed to do
desperately
anything
to
with
your
it
frail
jiggling?
life? Or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable
It's too
life
late.
from the moment we
I can't
fade
do
in
anything
until the
now.
moment I say happily ever after.
Bro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You really think so? Maybe. Yeah, I might as well have tried that. You're telling me back here.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
What if I
he
sat
entered
here and
the
did
door on
nothing?
his left.
Would he go would he go crazy? Would he go crazy? Guys, give me the 10K and I'll do a blinker. Give me the 10K likes. Do nothing? How long will it take though? Technically, didn't I already get the do nothing ending, but I was like in the ceiling looking at myself? I think I already got it. Right? That counted for it, right? Francis, thank you so much for that galaxy. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. That scared the heck out of me. Yeah, it's really loud. I guess I'll just go. Go right? Didn't I already go right? Go right and then answer the phone?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and
Last time I
Stanley knew it
unplugged the
perfectly
phone.
well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire
Last
it.
time I unplugged it. What happens when you
Wow.
plug it?
Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Never went that way.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform
Right.
and plunged to his death.
No one
Good
tells
job,
me what to
Stanley.
do.
Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I am powerful.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
Okay, but I should really try to answer the phone, right? What happens when you
When
answer
Stanley
the phone?
came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room.
I hate
and
how it
Stanley
closes
knew
their
it
door
perfectly
behind
well.
you.
Perhaps he wanted to stop
Because
by
I want
the
to like
employee
go
lounge
in
first,
and back and
just
in
to
and back
admire it.
and see if the narrator would be like, "He
The
can't make
lounge
up
was
his mind."
sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room
Like
that
this.
called so deeply and so personally? But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh, what if you had a key card? Could you open this? Is there a way to get a key card and open that? That would be so cool, like a little Easter egg or something. I bet you this game has a lot of stuff like
Look,
that.
Stanley, I think perhaps we've
little
gotten off
nooks
on the
and
wrong
crannies
foot
of
here.
hidden
I'm not
story.
your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
What's up, Tiffy? How you doing?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside.
Okay, let's answer the
to
phone.
let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Okay, last time he told me
That's
to answer
her,
the phone,
Stanley.
and I
You
unplugged
need to
the
be
phone.
the one to do this. To
Instead of
reach out to
answering it.
her. If you can truly
So
place
now I'm
your
gonna pick up the
faith in
phone.
another, then pick up the phone.
Oh, that's a teleport
Oh,
phone.
Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting.
It's
I'm
my
just pulling the
girlfriend.
bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife?
No, I
Who'd
thought
wanna commit their life
I
to
thought
you?
she would look like a mannequin.
I'm trying to make
That's
a point
totally
here, Stanley.
up my alley.
I'm trying to get you to see something.
I totally thought.
Come inside. Let me show you
I
what's
was like,
really
oh.
going on here.
Let
This
it
is
ring?
a very sad story about the
Oh.
death of a man named
That's a whole nother
Stanley.
one. Letting it ring. Press P on your keyboard. Why?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Bro. Press C? Okay, I'm gonna press 9 instead of C. I'm gonna press a bunch of stuff, but not C. How about that, huh? Okay, I'll press C.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button.
The game's
Now
making fun of me.
He's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Press P. Hey guys, we're pushing P right now.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on
Like
fantastic
the rappers say?
adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
That what they mean when they're saying pushing P? Press Z to watch TV?
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined
Can I
that
open the
one day
door of the
while at
fridge?
work,
No.
He stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss,
I'm trapped in
everyone in
here.
the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Press X to spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Press R to prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and
What?
destinations.
Am I at
Down
work the
one
whole
path
time?
lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Press M to tell your kids
It
a
was
story.
such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Press T to tell your wife you love her.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality,
is no
all
wife.
he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
T to go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to
Yo,
me.
easy.
He
We're
won't
on
stop.
TikTok, bro.
Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Press H to be at work in the morning. Maybe I won't. But then I'll be stuck here if I don't. What, do we just restart the game and don't press the button? Pressing it.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself?
Bub, silly,
How can I
thanks
get
for
him
the
to see what
follow.
I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Press P to question nothing.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my
Well,
intended
how's it going?
purpose,
Pretty
the
good.
same as
Just
Stanley.
playing this game I've
Well, not
never
so
played
different, I
before.
suppose.
The Stanley
I'll
Parable.
try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, Maybe
Honestly,
this
I
time
was
we'll
gonna
see.
play something else
Maybe
today,
this time.
and at the last minute, I was looking through
And I
Steam,
tried again.
and I saw
And
this
Stanley
was
pushed a button.
50% off.
And I tried again. And
I got
Stanley
this.
pushed a button. And I tried.
Okay, so that was we restart now. That was ending number 409. Okay.
All of his co-workers were
So
gone.
to
What
get
could
past
it
that
mean?
mind control part,
Stanley
is it
decided to
literally
go to the
just
meeting
1, 2,
room.
3, 4,
Perhaps
5?
he had simply missed a memo.
New content. Is this what the deluxe is?
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Oh. New content. Is this...
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Okay. Is it just
The
this
Stanley
ride?
Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful.
Yo, Brandon,
I'm very
thanks for the
excited to
heart
see
me.
the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Guys, send in your heart me's. It's just a 1 penny. Really helps the
Okay,
algorithm.
so far
Everyone
it's an
send in the heart
elevator.
me's.
Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
It's gonna be some trash joke. Like a bucket or something.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
The jump
All right.
circle.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Press space to jump. You can jump inside this circle. Oh, and there's only 34 jumps. Zero jumps left. That's it? Oh, come on. Isn't that
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley,
man.
I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew
what's
there
the
had to be
name?
something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
What's up, Catherine? How you doing? Welcome back. Thank you for enjoying
That's
the new
it?
content.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't
That
get me
is so
started
true,
on the
how-
level
that's
of craftsmanship
how
that's gone
normal
into
game
it. In fact,
companies
I'm
are,
looking
right?
right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says Test achievement, please ignore. What quality assurance department signed off on this?
Not great.
I'm
Oh, sorry to hear
infuriated
that.
and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Am I really supposed to just restart it? Oh, he did it. Where am I? This game is so similar to Superliminal.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here!
Kind of.
In the vent! I want to show you something!
What if I don't go in the
Oh.
vent?
You don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway. Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
I thought he would say it again. I was trying to make him go back and forth. Well, hopefully your day gets better, Catherine. I hope your day opens up. What is this? A coffee cup inside the vent?
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it.
Oh.
Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory
When the
Zone remind
Stanley
you of how
Parable was
wonderful
released.
Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched?
This
Back
is
then,
hilarious.
video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
I forgot the key. What key? Can I go back? I don't know if I could pick it up. It might have just been something. I don't know if you can actually pick it up. Like, you really can't touch anything. You know? Back when it was a demo. Unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. Go outside. Don't play for 5 years. Is that a real achievement? New video game releasing today. Creators surprisingly down to earth. Oh, this is funny. What?
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Memory zone maintenance.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both
All
a
the good
richly
reviews it
stimulating
got.
commentary on the nature of choice in
Oh my
games,
God.
and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
So true. Can we not go through this door because of all this gunk? Curious room.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
Strange. Oh, it's open now.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's
closed?
this?
Is that
What's
a
down
Whataburger?
here? Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
No. Not the Steam reviews.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the
This
game
is
is already
funny.
such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Bro, this is funny as hell. Honestly. What is this? Another bad review? They're just throwing away all the bad Steam reviews. Oh man. Look at all these crate full of bad Steam reviews. More bad review. Oh, here's a good one. Not recommended.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually
Guys, we're
quite
so close to
shocking.
10,000 likes.
Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful
Noodle
memory to
shell.
have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Is this the new content we were talking about? Is this still the new content gag?
What's this one got to
'Cause,
say?
like, I'm kinda confused where
you
we
constantly
are.
have to stop doing anything.
This is still
so
considered the
narrator
new
can
content?
catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes.
Oh, no.
Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it could
Do we want to skip?
Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Uh-oh. Shall we skip? I mean, it's the only choice, right?
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll... Oh, you're back, you see? You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourish.
How we do it again?
Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption,
Shall we just
it's
do
right
it
at your
again,
fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Ooh. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes?
Okay, it's
It's
2:10.
not unendurable by any means, but well, there's really only so much I can... Stanley,
It's
please
been a whole
don't push
day.
the button again. It's been 12 hours.
Woo!
You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back.
Oh no, the plants are
my
dead.
Goodness, I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks.
Uh-oh. Getting to the end of the world.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had...
Where's it been? He's no longer talking. Narrator's gone. We're all alone. The clock has stopped ticking. Uh-oh. Fire alarm. Out of batteries. Clock on the wall. Fall down to the floor. Oh no.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said,
He's still talking about
"Entertain
the
us."
review.
It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now
I
he
wonder
won't
how
shut
long
up.
he'll go
It's
on
the
about the review,
inconsistency,
though.
it's
That's
the
kinda
lack of
funny.
accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine. The end is never the end, 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 is never...
Get me out of here. This is so scary. Go, 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 go. Guys, I think we went too much into the future. I hear the beach now. And the walls are caving in. Sure, let's keep going. Oh no. The world is collapsing in on itself. Shall we skip again? Okay, now it's growing plants. Alright. Again. Dark. Okay, let's just get out of here. Come on. That should have been it. How do you hear tick? Hear that? Uh-oh. I thought I heard the beach. Can we skip it again? This is the final skip. Oh no, Adam Sandler, please! We broke the click. What's happening? What's happening, baby? I don't know. We're just going off into the desert. There's nothing. Should we go back? Okay, now we're in the dark. That's it? Bro. I could not just clock back in after that. Kidding?
All of his co-workers were gone.
After
What
all
could it
that, I
mean?
just clock back in? You
Stanley
kidding me?
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
What
he
was
had
that?
simply missed
That
the
was all the
memo.
new content? What the fuck? Oh, sorry, TikTok. But what? Okay, now this is all lit up.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
But we went here before. I don't want to do it again. What's with the new sign?
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Whoa. The Stanley Parable 2.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Oh.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much... Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Oh, the bucket. Mm-hmm. Hear your name in the game. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game,
Close
this
enough.
button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
All right.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory.
Hold
if
on.
you don't properly roleplay as
Let me
Jim,
play it again.
then you'll never understand the impact of
Come
this
on.
button. Otherwise, it's just a
Quick,
stupid button that says somebody
We're
else's
so close
name.
to 10K likes, guys.
Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on? See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says, but no. Instead, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away.
No. Took it away. Man. Jim. Jim.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable too. They would appreciate what I've created here.
Maybe. This is the famous bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold onto the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Thank you for 10K likes, chat.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on.
It won't let me leave.
All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable.
You can't jump. No, seriously, we disabled it. I just got an achievement that says you can't jump. No, seriously, we disabled it. Stop trying to jump. I can't leave. I can't drop this. Can I put the bucket in the trash? Like, okay, go. Everyone share the live to like 3 friends each.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an
Please,
award
no
if it isn't already.
screenshots?
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided
Happy
on
12th
Get
birthday,
Well Someday
Stepniece.
and
Get
Happy
well
12th
someday.
Birthday. Which would you go with?
Oh man. Is this picking between your stepniece dying and being sick?
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted
What
all
if you
along.
screenshot?
Get well someday it is.
I don't know. Let's try. I screenshotted. No screenshot.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No.
There, I
no,
screenshotted
I've
it.
made my decision. We're moving on.
I wonder what that QR code over there does. We should figure that out too. I saw a QR code. We should scan it and see what it does. Dude, how long do I gotta hold this bucket? I feel like a schmuck. Great.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well.
Come on,
It's-
give me some
Oh,
jumps.
wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle.
New
Oh,
easy
well.
achievement.
I suppose it can just be a nice decorative
Get a
piece
new
then.
achievement. What, by standing here? Free achievement. Get yours right now. Pull the lever and receive your new achievement. This works.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified.
Test
This is
achievement,
technology that
choose.
will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy
It's
the
broken,
hordes
it
of
won't give
rabid
it to
fans
me.
all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
This game is just too much, dude. It's just a hoot. A hoot.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
collectibles. What's up here? Can you find them? You can find them. Can you find them?
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines.
Oh
and
my
what's
God.
truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up.
Oh my
You
God, what is all
simply
this
collect
stuff we're
all of
walking
them,
towards?
And then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
This is just crazy, man.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Can you save right here? Like, is there save points in this game, or do you have to get to a certain part?
All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Up here. No screenshots.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
What?
I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Wait, is this a whole nother game? What? Wait. Is this 2 or 1? I'm so confused.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Confused.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines.
Yes.
Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
I think I am going to switch to something else though. The sequel is now paused. So I'm inside the sequel. Can't be.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
I didn't even have to put in the code.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
No, not this place again.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
But yeah, I was gonna finish this another day and play something else for the rest of the stream.